So welcome again to the Church of the Spirit. I'm Pastor Elizabeth Cichocki. I'm so glad to see everyone here in person and the people online. Thank you for coming too today. So, dear God, so far today, I've done all right. I haven't gossiped and I haven't lost my temper. I haven't even been grumpy, nasty, or selfish. And I'm really glad of that. But in a few minutes, God, I'm going to get out of bed. And then from then on, I'm probably going to need a lot of help. Amen. So this is my third and final sermon on what some call the 7 negative thoughts, or the 7 deadly sins. It benefits us all to learn about these 7 negative thoughts. It benefits us because if we know how to recognize them in ourselves, we can modify our thinking when we find ourselves acting out on one or more of these negative thoughts. So now it's time to take a closer look at ourselves and not others. We need to look in the mirror. This is an exercise we may need to do again and again as more insights about us are revealed. Taking a truthful look at ourselves helps us with our spiritual development. So once again, the 7 negative thoughts are pride, wrath, lust, envy, avarice, sloth, and gluttony. And today we'll look at avarice, which is greed, and sloth and gluttony. So greed. Greed is an intense desire and passionate love for material wealth. Greed is an irrational longing for something we don't really need. Greed manifests itself in various ways, including hoarding of materials, theft, robbery, bribery, and corruption. An example of greed is obsessing over the latest iPhone upgrade when our current phone works just fine. There is a saying that the love of money is the root of all evils. So some people think greed is what keeps the rich rich and the poor poor. But honestly, greed doesn't discriminate. It's got a VIP pass for everyone here. From the rich politician stockpiling cash like it's a limited edition Pokemon card, to the broke dad acting like donating $1 will trigger a financial apocalypse. Greed is thriving on both ends of the spectrum. Greed is basically the most relatable sin out there. It's like when someone says, "Oh, I would totally donate, just not today." And somehow we are amazed at spotting it in others while completely missing it in ourselves. Billionaires. Oh, we will call them greedy in a heartbeat. But heaven forbid someone asks us to round up our total at the checkout for charity Suddenly, we are financial analysts questioning the system. The problem is, when we obsess over other people's greed, we start building resentment toward folks we have never even met. Meanwhile, our own little greedy habits are sitting there like, don't mind me, I'm just vibing here. Greed has a sneaky way of making us look bad, as well as turning us into that person who seems stingy or stuck up. And the worst part is, we start becoming the exact person we complain about. Then comes the spiral thinking, okay? Do we have enough? Should we save more money? What if we need it for later for an emergency? Suddenly, we are hoarding snacks, money, and emotional support, like we're preparing for doomsday, which, by the way, we're not. Luckily, greed has an arch nemesis. Dun, 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 dun. It's generosity. Generosity is like, hey, maybe I don't need to guard myself like a dragon. It reminds us that we came into this world with nothing, and we're going to leave this world with nothing, right? Being generous does not mean giving away everything we own and living off good vibes in a commune. Oh, some people thought that years ago. It just means loosening the death grip on what we already have accumulated. So when we catch ourselves being greedy, and we will, because we're human, take a second, reflect, maybe help someone out, even in a small way. Share our time, our energy, and yes, even our money. And for some, this may be scary. But at the end of the day, the goal is not to be rich in cash. It's to be rich in good deeds. Because nobody's had a great savings account on their obituary. We're lucky if we have it printed, actually helped people on our obituary. So the next negative thought on the list is sloth. And sloth is really laziness. Okay? It's not just we feel like napping. It's more like we know we should do something meaningful, but this comfy couch is kind of calling us to lay down. People love to joke about sloth. Picture the slow, adorable animal hanging from the tree with zero responsibilities. It actually reminds me of the scene in the movie Zootopia. If you ever get to see Zootopia, it's hilarious. It's when the main characters are at the DMV and all the workers there are sloths. And so everyone moves very slowly. It is a really funny scene, and some may say accurate about the DMV, for real. And that's the problem, okay? When we imagine sloth, we think of extreme stereotypes. Someone glued to the couch with snacks and no ambition. But real sloth is sneakier than that. It's not always dramatic or obvious. In fact, it often looks harmless, even normal. And that's what makes it dangerous. Sloth is really making little deals with ourselves. I'll start later. This can wait. One more episode won't hurt when we're binging. It also can be when you see people tossing out of the car their trash instead of finding a bin at their next stop. Have we ever started a project an hour before it's due? Do we ever spend hours going over how we want to do something instead of just doing it? Sloth can even disguise itself as productivity. Have we ever cleaned the whole house instead of doing our taxes? That's sloth in a clever mask. At its core, sloth is avoiding what matters most. It's skipping quality time with the people we love, dodging meaningful work, or choosing convenience over care. You might hear sloth in your ear saying, yeah, good enough, when we are really fully capable of better. And over time, that adds up. Life gets dull, skills fade, relationships weaken. We start feeling stuck, bored, even resentful, like life is happening to us, instead of us enjoying our life. So ask ourselves these questions. Does everything feel like a chore? Do simple tasks feel overbearing? Do we default to the easiest option every time? Answering yes to any of these questions means we might be flirting with sloth. And yet the antidote isn't complicated, just uncomfortable. Do the thing. Get up. Put effort into it. Choose meaning over convenience. Call somebody. Cook a real meal from scratch. Start the task we have been dodging like it owes us money. Sloth thrives on avoidance, but shrinks the moment we take action. And usually, the thing we least want to do is exactly the thing we should be doing. So our third negative thought is gluttony. Gluttony is alive and well, thriving in our all-you-can-eat snack aisle on every corner in the world. We are surrounded by food that has been engineered to taste good, to last forever, and somehow still leave us hungry. When we do think of a healthy choice, we need to choose that healthy choice for what we want to eat. Overeating is not just about food, it's about our feelings. Having a bad day? Here's some ice cream. Stressful day? Here's a bag of chips. Existential crisis? Family-sized pizza. or one. And why do we eat the entire container instead of a reasonable portion? Because dopamine, chemical in our brain, shows up like, hey, I heard we are sad. Want a temporary lift? And there goes a whole box of cookies. Gluttony is not just eating, it is overdoing it. It is eating fast, eating constantly, eating because we're bored, and then somehow being shocked when we are still unsatisfied. Gluttony is difficult to hide. We may think we're being subtle, quietly snacking in the middle of the night, but that crinkling paper or wrapper around our food at midnight sounds like a full drum solo, especially when alone. The tricky part is gluttony does not feel dramatic. It feels normal. We say to ourselves, it's just food, while ordering enough to feed a small village. But over time, it affects everything. Our energy, our mood, our health, even our relationships. Believe you me, nobody is at their best after accidentally eating like it's Thanksgiving on a Tuesday in March. Ask ourselves these questions to see if we have gluttony. Do we eat like someone's about to take our plate away? Do we eat snacks between meals and then snacks between snacks? Do we need everything bigger, cheesier, or supersized? Do we feel weirdly attached to food emotionally? If we answered yes to any of these questions, congratulations. Gluttony is not in our future. It's here now. One author wrote, a glutton is basically raiding the fridge, looking for answers that aren't there. Isn't that true? So the goal is not to stop enjoying food. The goal is to stop acting like it's the only solution to everything or to all our problems. Because at some point, it's not the food that's the problem. It's what we are trying not to deal with by eating. So how do we deal with these 7 negative thoughts? We all need to look inside and examine ourselves truthfully. Often this takes practice. We have mental wounds. They have mental wounds. The world has mental wounds. We as spiritualists are called to be life givers and healers to the wounded. Spiritualists are basically saying, hey, take responsibility for our mess ups. It wants to think about what we do and why we do it. Did we make a mistake? Did we love our money more than human beings? Did we laugh when someone fell down and we didn't get up to help them? Did we order food every day and get it delivered? Do we think, no biggie, That's just a life quiz we can retake later when we're in the spirit world. The main question is, what were our intentions on this earth plane? Spiritualism wants us to look in the mirror, and sometimes that's painful, to ask ourselves, am I being the best version of me? It's like spiritual self-improvement boot camp, except there's no push-ups. We're working on our mistakes in our lives. In the end, all of our goof-ups that we do not work out now will be waiting for us on the other side. It's just a matter of time. So this brings us to the conclusion of the 7 negative thought series, where we learned what the 7 negative thoughts are, how to recognize them in ourselves, and tips to overcome them. It's time to unmask ourselves instead of to the truth we have always been. We have been hiding. We have been safe, but we have not been living. We have not been in charge of the reality around us. We are more powerful, more brave, more intelligent than we have been leading ourselves to believe. It is time to rise to our full potential. Amen.
Yes.